Have you ever experienced something so crippling in your life that has made you feel broken? I have. Are you someone who has a giving heart but is struggling to feel good themselves? Are you consistently putting your needs aside to take care of everyone else? If so, you're not alone. Giving starts with giving to yourself so that you are able to give of yourself to other people. Isn't it time you took back control and discovered what makes you tick? Join me in my journey and find out how you can feel better about yourself, live your best life, and share that with others. Thinking of yourself, it doesn't make you selfish. It makes you brave. I'm Nelia, and this is the Giving Starts With You podcast. Welcome to the Giving Starts With You podcast, powered by Travel, Live, Give, and I'm your host, Nelia Hutt. If you're ready to expose and target the areas of your life that are not getting you closer to living your best life, then I have created just the thing to help you. I've created a Live Your Best Life blueprint. It's a free download that you can now get at www.travellivegive.com/blueprint/. This blueprint will look at 7 key areas of your life, from how you manage your mental health to how you show up in your relationships, from self-care to job satisfaction, and how and what you choose to spend your free time on so that you can start living the life you deserve, desire, and crave. Because after all, it's time to start feeling better and create a life that makes you proud. You'll also learn in this blueprint more about yourself. You'll get clear on what really matters. You'll stop making excuses and take action, and be one massive step closer to the life you want to live. Life is way too short not to live your best life. So what are you waiting for? Go to www.travellivegive.com/blueprint. Now let's tune into the episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Giving Starts With You podcast. I'm your host, Nelia Hutt. This podcast is powered by my company, Travel, Live, Give. And I'm so happy today because not only are you here listening and watching on YouTube, go check out. It's always nice to see the people that you're listening to on audio. So go check it out on YouTube. It's the Giving Starts With You podcast. But I'm so excited to welcome my new friend. Her name is Joy. Hi, Joy. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you? What's going on? How was your day? What's new? I love,
I'm
I love, I love,
great.
I love, I love, I love, I love the giving aspect.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. My day's good, but my interviews are the best part of my day. I love it so much. So thank you. I know you're a busy gal, and I appreciate the time that you're taking out of your day to come on here and share with the listeners what you're doing. So Joy, she is an incredible owner of Be the Difference Clothing, established in 2014, where she does just that. She inspires you to be your best self through quotes and her designs. So her clothing inspires and encourages not only those who wear them, but those who see them on the people wearing them. So Joy, Joy, Joy. I love it. I love your name. I love you already. Oh my God. So these quotes are so thought-provoking. And I know that you also, on your YouTube channel, you read like the quote of the day and you talk about this under a minute. And at some point during our interview, I would like to experience that, if that's okay.
Of course, anything for you.
So I love it. We have not had anybody like you on the show. And I was so excited when one of my podcast friends recommended you. So you were a referral, which it's going to be great, because if people are sending you to other podcasters, it's amazing, right? So a
Yeah.
shout out to Sabrina, who did that for us. But yeah, the show is all about inspiring people to think bigger, to think
Mhm.
about lots of things that maybe you don't really think about, right? That's why I love your whole thing around quotes. And
Mhm.
I love wearing inspiring clothing. I'm wearing something today. It says, give a little love. And I always try to find stuff that has those messages. And like you said, not just for me, but for the people that are expressing it. Especially when I go on a trip on airports, I'm like, here's my quote for the day. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
love this, right?
Mhm.
So,
It's amazing because uh you don't understand that. Well, I think people don't give enough credit for visual absorption. So I truly believe that we are creatures of absorption, right? So you know how nature absorbs our carbon and we absorb the oxygen, and it's a give and take. So, perfect example. When I first started the company, I had a t-shirt, or I still do have one, but I just redesigned it. It's called Prayer Works. And I remember wearing it. I was a little nervous about wearing my own clothing because of, some of the topics can be controversial or hard to talk about. So I know it may not seem like it's hard to talk about prayer, but you can rage wars because there's so many people who are very religious and think that their religion is the true religion, their God is the true God. But at the end of the day, like the God that I believe we all serve has one thing in common: love,
Mm.
right? So, anyway, fast forward. I was walking across the street, and then this woman, she was sitting on a bench, and this woman looked up and she was like, "Thanks for the reminder." And I'm like, who is she talking to, first of all?
I
And
love it.
then when I looked down, I was like, oh my goodness, she's talking about my Prayer Works t-shirt.
Mm.
And so I immediately ran to the car and got a business card. And I was like, I went up to her and I was like, oh, if you ever need to talk to anybody, here's my card, reach out anytime. And the thing about it is we are all in the right place at the right time, but do we absolutely take advantage of those opportunities? So I was at the right place for that woman, because who knows what would have happened when she left
Mm.
from that bench. And maybe seeing that and her triggering, saying that was a reminder, maybe that was her ability to keep moving. I
Mm.
mean, we don't know. And it's not our responsibility to know. It's not our business to know. All we have to do is be present and available and able to be used by God or your maker, whoever you believe in. I believe in God, but like I was just happy that I was doing something, like all of that fear of creating something that says prayer works and addiction kills the family, and fearing like what people would think and how it would be received. It is absolutely doing something. And that's why Be the Difference
Mm.
clothing is the type of clothing it is. It's not all about um it's not all about making 100% monetary gains. It's about really getting right to here, getting right back into the soul of things. And our slogan is, it's not just clothing, it's a way of life.
Mm.
So when you wear this, when you wear something positive, you are going to be what you represent. And if you do fall short, you be like, oh man, you know? So it's just, we have to be very careful with what we do. But when you have something powerful, and it could go both ways, you can wear something very negative and it's still going to do the effect that it was supposed to do. That's why we're creatures of absorption. That's why we have to be very careful and selective in what we do and what we say and who we surround ourselves with at all times.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that story because for so many reasons. So I love the fact that you didn't even know what she was talking about. Like she was like, "Were you talking to me?" kind of thing. Because you are like you're wearing that for yourself because you believe in that and it makes you feel good. And sometimes you forget, oh, other people can read it, right? And the fact that she was affected by that, you're absolutely 100% right. You don't know. You don't know. She could have had a great day, but she could have been on her way to something so sad and tragic. And you just don't know. And the rest of her day will be affected by that in some way. It's not just like a split second, you know. What I love about it as well is, you know, sometimes there are people in this world that maybe don't feel comfortable sharing their views and their opinions. And there are others who shout it from the rooftop. But this is good for both
Yes,
because for somebody who struggles with having a voice and talking about things that are controversial, just put it on,
right.
just wear it, and people will know. It starts conversations without the anger, without all of the all of the anger and controversial around the topic. Sometimes it can be a great conversation starter
Mhm.
or conversation shut down, but either way, people are being affected by it. It's a form of communication. It can be silent where it's not have to be spoken, but it's right in front of you, so somebody's going to think about it. It's going to be thought provoking. It's going to be a form of communication that doesn't have to be in your face. And if you don't get the reaction that you're looking for, it's okay because you're wearing it for you. And I love that because honestly, I think, on this show, we talk about doing stuff for ourselves, regardless and despite of the people around us sometimes.
Mhm.
And if you don't feel heard and you feel like you don't have a voice sometimes, you can do this. You can wear these types of things and have your message go out there without being in people's faces, without having to, um, shout it from the rooftop. But sometimes the quietest ways are the most loudest ways.
And the most effective.
Yes. And it
Mhm.
just starts a conversation. It just, I almost want them to do this like, how they have red day at school, and I almost want them to have like a saying t-shirt day.
Mm.
Express yourself through that, and then maybe once a month pick one and have a conversation in schools about why somebody wore something. I think that would be a great teaching thing, because then you would learn about your peers as well. I think that would be a great idea. You should probably go with that and see what happens, because
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing. I think it'd go viral.
Yeah, and I have so much, speaking of viral, a lot of times I think we overshadow or overlook the fact that going viral is actually starts with you
Mm.
and who you affect in your immediate circle. Because you are, you may, you're, okay, I don't know. Do you believe in God or have read the Bible? Okay,
Yes.
so you know about the seeds and who plants and who waters and who actually harvests. That's what all of us are.
Mm.
And maybe what you do or what you say or what you inspire someone to do may just be the tilling of the soil. And then that just ignites something. And then eventually they turn into the shoot or the vine or the tree
Mm.
that's supposed to help humanity. So all of that, with all of that being said, it doesn't matter what part of the equation you may fall into. Just be happy that you are a part of the equation and
Yes.
that you've been chosen to be about something special. And when I talk on my podcast, the Hello World podcast, um, I always want all of us, and including myself, to remember that we have been blessed with a gift to breathe, to live at whatever age that we're at right now, to have had past experience and to possibly have future experiences. Not many people make it. Not many people make it to whatever age we are. There are babies that don't even get to breathe a few breaths. There are there are teenagers who don't even get to see their prom or graduate high school.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So like putting it in literal terms like that has to pull something in your spirit to be like, yeah, I am blessed no matter what may be going on in your immediate life right now. But that's how you can have affect your immediate circle by just doing what you're supposed to do, following your purpose. And whoever that person is that's supposed to carry the torch and take it upward, you have a part of that. And you should be proud that you were chosen. So that's just the way I think about it sometimes.
I love it. Yeah, because you don't have to be every element of it. If you talk about it and you spread the awareness, somebody's going to take the torch and someone's going to continue. And in your own way, you guys can spread, kindness and help with purpose and everything, because we're all, we're all very different, but at the core, we're all the same,
Mhm.
and our stories are so different, but yet we can always empathize with people, or most of us can anyway. And we all just want the same things. We want to have a good life. And that may mean one thing to one person and one thing to somebody else. But at the core of that, it's we don't want to be lonely. We want to be loved and we want to be heard and seen, right? And I love it. I love your high vibrations only. I mean, I know, right? I love it so much. Okay. So I kind of, in what you've said so far, I kind of already can feel through the screen why you're doing this. But I just want to go a little bit further. I want to
Mhm.
find out, was there something in your life that kind of turned you on to doing this? Because
Yeah.
sometimes things happen to us, either we don't feel heard or something happens that changes our direction and our trajectory and puts us in another place. So, how did this all start?
So I let me tell you one thing too. Don't devalue the experiences that you are experiencing now because you never know if it's going to help you in the next phase of your life. So I used to manage a Christian rap artist and I was like, yes, I always was like, we're going to be in the music industry. I'm going to be like this, da, 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 da. So once that fizzled out, I was just like, okay, what am I going to do now? I started going to the gym 7 days a week. And in doing so, I one day typed on I typed on Instagram, not Instagram, it was Facebook at the time. I was like, I have an admission to make, work hard, snack harder, right? So meaning like I would go to the gym, bang it out, and then come home and have Snickers bar, ice cream, all of that other stuff. And that became and speaking of that, one of my family members said, you should make that a shirt. And I said, okay, I'm not doing anything, right? So I had already acquired the knowledge on how to incorporate. I already acquired the knowledge on how to copyright.
Mm,
And only thing I didn't know how to do was sell clothing because that was not my forte, but I knew all of the other things. So that went from that shirt to Addiction Kills the Family. I was driving home from an event. It was like December, very cold, and I saw someone backwards, just like stuck backwards and swaying,
mm,
like an accordion. I was like, I've never seen that before.
mm,
And as I drove by, it just hit my heart like we all empathize with the fact that somebody is has been abusing drugs for however long and they're just strung out. It's the winter time, it's cold.
mm,
And I just said, what am I going to do? Like, at what point am I going to stop? Or at what point are we all going to stop and decide to do something for our community? And that's how that t shirt came about. And I said, I'm not a public speaker. At that time, I wasn't. And I felt like, well, the most I could do was show how I felt. And it was basically the word addiction kills the family with bear claws, just showing literally how that really tears apart the family. And it's not just about substance abuse, it's about anything that could possibly take away from family building time can become an addiction. It's basically for us to do a self assessment check on our lives daily. If we can't be there for our kids when they're growing up, or if we can't be there for our husbands or our wives or our friends, and we're so busy either on a cell phone or either working too much, you are wasting valuable time that could be helping the family grow. And again, you never know if you might have planted the seed for someone who's going to do something
mm.
great. But if you're too busy self-absorbed in things that don't make anything for our future, you missed it. Then we have to wait another 10 generations.
But it's so true because it's, I love that you shared that with us because addiction does, I mean, it's not just the person. And quite often, because the person is numb, it kills the family more than it kills the person because maybe they're not even aware of it, you know? And just to have those conversations and when I think about what you're doing, to me, it's like just spreading hope. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I'm all about. I'm all about trying to end loneliness and spread hope in any way we can, whether it's through a donation, whether it's through volunteering, whether it's through, spreading these thought-provoking quotes that you have, whether it's through your book or your designs. I think it's so necessary in this world,
Mhm.
you know?
And if you think about it, like, imagine this, let's take it 10 steps a little deeper. The person who is addicted to whatever, do you absolute, let's just say substance abuse, because that's the most literal thing we can think of. Do you think that when they were a toddler or when they were in elementary school, they said, I want to be strung out. Never in their imagination could a beautiful child ever have thought that.
Mm,
This is their lifestyle. This is their income. Just feeding off of everything and everyone else. You
absolutely.
think that they absolutely want that? You think that when they're no longer high at that time, that they actually can look at themselves in the mirror and just really say, like, heck, I messed my life up. I missed all these opportunities. Because everybody has a conscience.
Mm,
At some point, everybody, but then again, they get high again so that they don't have to think about it.
mm,
But, and it's the same way for anything else. You numb yourself so you don't have to heal.
mm.
And when you don't have to worry about healing and you just everything else is an excuse. Well, I'm just doing my thing.
Whether it's gambling, it could be anything. It could be
Anything.
anything, any type of,
And and
yeah.
when you say gambling, imagine spending your whole family's month's food bill. How do you think that person who actually did it feels?
Mm,
Now you have they're not happy about that. And then the people that they're in debt to, they've got people that they've already let down. And moreover, the kids or the wife or the husband that now is gonna be hungry.
mm,
Or now you lose your living arrangement because of that.
yeah.
It's a sad thing, and we should take the stigma away from just being everybody's a victim. Let's help each other cope and let's help each other grow, you know?
Yes. And be less judgmental. We judge so much. And I mean, I've done it. I'm sure you've done it. We're
Hmm.
human, and sometimes we do judge people by certain things that we shouldn't. But at the end of the day, we're all hurting in some way. And if somebody who is addicted to something, for example, is there struggling, whether they're in denial or not, and they see somebody like you coming down the street with one of those high vibration, it might start a conversation. It might be the first time that they feel like they can express themselves. It might be the beginning, the seed to something more. It might be an eye opener. It might be a lot of things. And again, doesn't have to be with words because sometimes people aren't approachable. There are scary situations that we shouldn't put ourselves into,
Right.
even though we want to help people. I mean, you have to kind of decide and look at that and see what
Yep.
is in your best interest as well. Because so many times we're faced with, oh my goodness, there's a couple on the street and they're hurting each other and you want to intervene, but what do you do? Do you call the police? Do you do it yourself? Like there is a bit of fear there too, but just starting the conversation, you know,
Yeah.
even
And
without
you're right.
speaking.
It's like we have to use discernment in every situation. Like we can't be the hero to everything, and we're not heroes. That's another thing too. We're
Mm,
not heroes. But I believe we were put here to help each other grow.
mm,
And if we're not doing that, then we'll continue to have this division that's been created, and now we have division over so many different things that
mhm.
don't really mean anything in the long run. Because at the end of
Exactly.
the day, everybody's still lacking the love, that human love that we're supposed to be experiencing. You know what I mean?
Hmm. See,
It's
I
it's, it's
see I see so many things that I want you to do. Like, I want you
deep.
to like create this, thing where people who have been married for 20, okay, I've been married 27 years. And I'm gonna say, although we have a lot to talk about, sometimes we go for dinner and we don't know what to talk about, okay, girl? But if we each wore a shirt that had something meaningful to us, that could be a start of a conversation. Okay.
Yeah,
Like you could do circles. You could have like instead of Tupperware parties or whatever, have everybody show up in something they really are feel passionate about and start something. Like there's just so many possibilities out there to take it even further, right? Just to start conversations. I love it.
I agree.
I
I
love it.
agree. And with the dinner situation, like, we always have to continue to use our imagination. Like, remember that first time, like that initial, like I was scared to even approach you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just we have to start really thinking deep again, you know?
Yeah. No, it's great. I see you have your book there. So, girl,
Mhm.
tell me how many books you have out there in the world?
This is one of them, and I have three others that are on hard copy. Right? No, was it four others that are on soft cover, and the titles are quotes that make you say, "Oh," from Instagram to your hand.
Love
This
it.
one is about the vision board, so like I kind of brought back, the nostalgia of a tape,
Yes.
and I thought that was pretty cool.
I love it,
Um,
especially because you have a history in the music business. So I have a history in the
yeah.
music business too.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
that's the
girl.
part. Yeah.
I remember those cassettes.
What part of the industry were you in?
So I was a recording engineer.
Oh, I used to
Yeah,
love
girl.
being in the studio. I used to love being in the studio.
I
I'm like,
know.
wow,
It's
I'm gonna
been
get the
it's been a minute. It's
hang.
it's been like 20 years, but I like graduated top of my class and I loved it. Loved it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
great.
beautiful. Your gift will never leave you. See that you're talking about it now. That means you need to pick it back up somehow.
Yeah,
I
well,
have
digital
a
recording.
ringtone too. I have a ringtone too.
That's awesome. That's so
I
cool.
created I created the beat and I did the vocals for it. And then I had someone mix and master it for me. And
Uh,
then they kind of
yeah,
put the doubles on there and
that's
the
amazing.
yeah. Yeah.
And my son creates too. He's a songwriter and he's
Oh,
16 and he's so good. He blows me away every time. But I love that you have that on your book. It's cool. I love it. So you got to put the things you love and the passion into your passionate business, right? So
mhm.
so girl, can we try that? Pick a quote for the day. Let's see what you come up with.
And just so you know, for anybody out there who's thinking like I wanted to be an author, absolutely not. I didn't think this was ever in my like whatever. So I'm gonna just flip through whatever page it stops at. We're gonna read both sides, okay? Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, we can't do that one because that's the inventory. Like you can put notes on there. Okay, here we go. Ooh, the first one says, "Isn't it funny? We put so much pressure on ourselves for things that don't exist, so much so they become a reality. Isn't it funny? We put so much pressure on ourselves for things that don't exist, so much so they become our reality." All that negative
Boom.
thinking.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
It's so true. Don't go to the next one yet. Okay. This was cool. I loved it. And it's true. It's true. We're creating this reality. Stop. We need to stop doing this,
Yep,
especially
yep,
when
yep,
it's negative.
yep. But I mean, again, it goes back to being creatures of absorption. Like if you continuously think, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, guess what? You're not going to do it. And then you can't say, I told you so because you were setting yourself up to not do it, period.
Mm,
So
love it.
that's one. And then it says, I don't need to lie to you because you're not worth my soul. I don't need to lie to you because you're not worth my soul. That's about integrity, all
Wow.
about integrity.
Yep.
You
Don't
know,
sell your soul for nothing.
right? Like, and also, it also should spring the idea of like, you know what? Let me tell the truth because that's the hardest thing to do is to tell the truth because we're not used to doing it. We're always used to giving excuses or I don't want to hurt their feelings, but you just don't want to hurt your own ego or your pride. But just tell the truth because guess what? People are gonna find out anyway.
I know,
They're
and
gonna find out
it's so
anyway.
deceptive, you know. We sometimes have to make our lives more than what they are. We have to, and it's not necessarily a lie to hurt others, it's to make us feel better. And it
Because we were
doesn't
taught
work.
that. We were taught that. Like we were taught to be this image of someone else's identity that they wish they had, so much so that we forget that we have our own identity to live. So when people get to that midlife crisis stage, they're all like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with myself? Who am I? And then you have to figure it
Mm,
all out, you know? So,
yes. And that's why I love what you're doing because some people might think of it as, oh, I see a lot of, shirts with sayings and things on it. But check out her designs because they're a little bit different. and they're more powerful, I think. But it's especially good for people who have maybe a difficulty standing up for themselves and for what they believe in, and they're very private. This is a way that you can do it easily. Just put it on,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
get
And
people to know you.
you know what else people really love about the company? I do custom socks. So there are only 12 designs of any of the socks, and once they sell out, they're never made again. And
Mm,
there's a big reason why that's done. It's done because it brings back the idea of exclusivity, where like, for example, Ferrari or one of those big car companies or one of those places where there's only like 12 in the world or like 5 in the world, and if you got one then like you're exclusive, you're in this exclusive club, right? But like for $16 you can be in an exclusive club of your own because there's only 12 and some of those 12s are broken down into different colors. So you may be the only person in the world with a pair of socks that was created by Be the Difference for anybody, accessible to anyone.
mm,
And it reminds you that it's okay to be an individual. It's okay to have your own style. And that it's subliminal. Everything that Be the Difference does, the people who support it, the people who, work from time to time, is subliminal, meaning you don't have to say a word. It's subliminal.
mm.
The
I love
same way, the same way we can be programmed in different things that we absorb
it.
and
Mm,
not realize it for many hours is the same way we can be effectively reprogramming everything and
mhm.
being human again, you know?
And I love
So,
that. I love your name, Be the Difference, because it says it all, start the conversation. And yeah, I really like that. I really like that, the name you chose for your company. So you've been doing this since 2014.
yes, yes.
That's amazing.
I actually incorporated the end August of 2013. And then after I trademarked is when I felt more comfortable, actually, selling things.
Hmm.
I needed people to know that this was a legitimate business in New Jersey. And I needed people to know that I'm not all about, just take your money and that's it. There's a purpose. Like even 10% of all of the clothing designs goes to Hayden's Heart. It's a local
Hmm.
charity that raises awareness for babies with congenital heart disease. So it's like not only do, we try to inspire just by from you supporting, but we also try to give back. And
Mm.
I love babies. So that's why that charity is one that I'm with and is local, is right here in New Jersey. It's more tangible. I know who I can talk to the owner if I wanted to talk to the owner,
I love that. I
So
love that so much. And, who doesn't like doing business with companies who give back? I mean,
yeah.
that's how I choose. That's how I choose who I work with. Like, honestly, because you've got to stand behind your product, and I think that says it all right there. I
And
love it.
and the caveat is I don't even tell people about the charity until after they support it. And I
Mm,
don't because I don't want people to feel convicted to support. I want you to support because you really want to. And you
mm,
really believe that by you wearing our product, you are absolutely doing your part without having to say anything. You don't have to be a speaker. You don't have to be a pastor. You don't have to be the Pope. You don't have to be the president. You don't have to be a senator. You could just be who you are. And that message is going to inspire so many more people than you could have ever imagined.
mm,
And when you support that, you are sowing into that growth of division and just togetherness and believing that humanity is important. So I'm just like overwhelmed right now because just thinking about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's just amazing that people absolutely believe in humanity being first and
mm.
coming back to the nature of things. And it's just beautiful,
It is.
So I definitely enjoy the company and it keeps me accountable to myself and like not being angry or, or trying to like, stay righteous, but lack of other words that I can think of. But
Yeah,
it's just, yeah,
you seem very humble,
yeah, that's what it does.
you
It's
know,
like,
but what you project is meaningful. You know, like we're having this conversation and I can feel how genuine you are, and I love that.
and if you don't get humble, life will humble you. And it's not always going to be nice. And
Hmm.
I'm too tender for anything else. I'm tender.
I love it. I love it. So Joy, let me ask you. Sometimes I ask people on this show, not always, but I'm interested in your answer. So, what would you say is the biggest gift you've ever given to yourself that has
Mhm.
changed the opinion of who you are, of how you look at yourself?
Learning how to forgive myself and working through the traumas that I've had in my life and understanding that traumas happen anytime.
Mm.
So it kind of keeps me just wanting to be a better person and to be a better person for others, But I think that's the best gift I could have given myself because before then I was just living, but now I'm living. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I know my purpose and just learning how to heal led me to be able to understand what my purpose is and to live it. So just going, and I recommend everybody just go through the process of healing through your traumas, even if you don't think you know what they are. Look in the mirror, and I guarantee you, you're going to see something inside your soul, not physically. You're going to see something inside your soul that's like, wow, and then go through the process and heal, and you'll have something also that you can say was the biggest gift for yourself, But I believe forgiveness, yeah,
I love it. And it shows in what you're doing. It really
yeah.
does. Because, I don't know if anybody, this is going to sound weird, but I don't know if anybody listening has ever done this. So, you know how we look in the mirror sometimes? Okay, we're putting on makeup or we're getting ready or whatever. We don't really look at ourselves. We're looking at
Mhm.
ourselves, but we don't really look at ourselves. And so one day I was just having this ugly cry and I went to the bathroom and I went to wipe it off and I was, the mirror's in front of me and I'm looking in. I think that was one of the first times I actually saw myself and I could see the pain because I'm
Mhm.
like, girl, I don't even know what I look like crying. Wow, that's really ugly. But in that moment I felt beautiful because I was like I was being real and my eyes were puffy and I was an ugly moment, but I was like looking in my eyes in the mirror, like just straight piercing through. And what came to me was me thinking of myself as a little person when I was younger. And I would be like, it's okay. You didn't know how to do better. It's not your fault. It's okay. And sometimes when you look at yourself in that way, it's not just looking in the mirror. Something happens when you can see yourself, but then you can see yourself. It's like you're saying you're living, but you're not living. I get that so much. And that
Absolutely.
was transformational for me because a lot of times I avoid looking at myself in the mirror when I'm in the bathroom or I'm passing something, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see how I look right now, right? But that's not what it's about. When you look into the soul, like you're saying, it's so different. The feeling is so different. And that's when you can be real with yourself and forgive yourself. I
Yep.
loved that.
And then also that opens the door for God, your maker, creator, whoever you believe in, to actually start working through you.
Mm.
Because now you're an empty vessel and you want to be filled with something better. You're
It's
not
definitely an
carrying the torch
experience.
alone. Yeah.
It's definitely an experience. Like,
And it takes time.
yeah. And it's not like I said to myself, this is what I'm going to do. It was kind of accidental, but I was
Mhm.
like, whoa, girl, you're hurting right now. Like, I see you, you know what I mean? And it's okay to be that for yourself. Like, giving does start with us. And as much
Mhm.
as we want other people to see your designs, when you put them on, how does it make you feel?
I mean, now I just put it on just to put it on, but again, it just makes me hold myself accountable a little bit more. So I
Mm.
can't just be going out there, acting like a fool. Because it's like, remember who you are. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember that girl. So like that's the first thing it does. It keeps me in check. but
Mm,
also, I don't really think about it anymore because now it's just a routine. But if by chance I notice people like kind of gazing kind of weird, I'm like, it's probably because of what I'm wearing. You
mm.
know, I used
It's
to get
second
that a lot.
nature now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to get that a lot with the Addiction Kills the Family t-shirt. Like I was so nervous wearing that shirt because it's like that could be, very
Mm.
like who you talk, you know what I mean? But like I used to get the looks like, and I'm like, what did I
Like, is
do? And
she
I'm like,
preaching or is
oh,
she coming from a family who has this? Or people start to
yeah.
ask, right?
No,
Yeah.
they don't say anything to me. It's just a look, like,
Yes.
and it's that look, like, just like, uh, it's
But you
like because
want them.
it automatically makes the person think of either them or somebody they know.
Mm. And it's so, I wish people would ask,
No, I'm
would
good.
start.
God knows that there's certain conversations that I may not be equipped for at that moment.
Yeah. No, I just mean like, I don't know. Or say something like that woman said, thank you for the reminder, you know.
Yeah.
It's speaking without speaking. It's speaking gently, you know.
Yep.
I love it. So you sell t-shirts. What else? T-shirt, what other pieces of clothing?
We have hoodies,
Hoodies.
and like the cool thing about the hoodies is I put on the wrist. This is the left wrist, right?
Yeah.
The left wrist, you're supposed to wear your watch on your left wrist. That's what they say. And if somebody asks you what time it is, you be like, 1/2 past be the difference.
Oh,
You
I
know?
love it.
And it's like I said, I'm gonna do all the hoodies like that. So the
I love
hoodie,
that. I love
yeah,
the
the
humor
custom
in it,
stuff.
and it's the part of you that's injected into that. I love that.
Exactly. And I print them all too. I print the hoodies, the t-shirts, the fitness tops, the onesies. I print all of them. So like not only do people support, but it's like you get a little piece of me in each and every article. Cause I'm always like, whoever gets this may be like a blessing to them or whatever. And those
Oh,
who see it, so it's like in many
personalized.
ways, yeah, in many ways, I still get to share who I am and share part of the gift that God has given me, a little bit of peace that I've been blessed to have with other people and bestow, hopefully, if they receive it. Now, I always ask people if you would like, because there's some people that don't want it. So you have to be
Mm.
respectful of people's space and what they feel. So even if you want to do something with good intentions, you have to ask people first, get
Yes.
permission.
Don't
And if they
assume.
give you permit, yeah, if they give you permission, then go. But if they don't give you permission, then back off. So that's how I do it. As long as they're willing to receive it, then let it be a blessing.
Mm.
So
I'm so glad we had this conversation, honestly, because you can really, I don't know, I keep saying communicate, but it's true. If you live in silence, you can't share the message. You know, this is a not in your face, you know, this is what I believe in, but I don't know, it helps people know who you are, right?
yeah, we have to be gentle. We have to be gentle. Like if you think about it, all of the things that are being forced now doesn't
Mm,
do anything, right? But when you're gentle, you get a better response.
mm, love it.
So we
So
just
where,
have to be
okay.
gentle.
Where can we get your book? Where can we find your clothing? Like, we need to know all the details, girl. We want
Okay,
people to
so
go and check it out.
you need to everybody right now needs to go on all of their social media platforms and type in B as in boy, T as in Tom, D as in dog, LLC, right? And that's where you'll be able to follow and see different, content, little shorts here and there every single day. Then you need to go to the website, be the difference LLC.com to grab some hoodies or t-shirt, one of the books, and they'll be personally signed as well. And that's it. And then also, if you would like to go to the YouTube and follow on the YouTube there, still BTD LLC. If you need encouragement, there's like 1,000 episodes of Hello
I'm a
World on
subscriber.
there. Yes. There's 1,000 pieces of inspirational moments that you can absolutely absorb if you need to pick me up and just share with everyone else. And if there's anything that will help the most, is just sharing. Just share, be the difference with the people so that we can continue to grow and sow more good seed as much as possible, you know?
Mm. And I know that with you, it's not just about selling t-shirts. It's about getting the messages heard and making people feel human and that we have something connecting us.
Mhm.
And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you today and get to know you a little bit better. It's because I believe in that. I believe in what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Joy, this was a joy. And it was just, yeah, I can't wait to go. I mean, I've already looked and checked some stuff out, but I can't wait to go order something and just start being more intentional with my messages and see what my favorites are. But
Yeah, and what you're doing is absolutely necessary too. You know what I mean? And giving and teaching people how to give back to themselves first, like that is so vital and important. Like whatever you do, please never stop, no matter how good or bad things get. Just keep moving because it's affecting the very people that you don't see.
mm,
So just
thank
keep
you.
going. Just keep going.
Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that support. I found out or realized a few years ago that my life's not really about me. And the days that I get tired and the days that I have a lot to do are the days that I think I really need to do it. And I think other people need to hear it. So I'm going to continue to show up for people as much as I can. And when I can't, I'm the first one to say I need to give to myself. And I do take a couple of weeks off because then I can show up better for everybody. So thank you for that. That's a very, very sweet thing of you to say. But so yeah, go check out all the things. I'm gonna put her information, of course, in the show notes and go and hit the subscribe button, guys, for her and for the Giving Starts With You show because we want to spread all of these messages. We want to spread all of these ideas. We want not because we want followers, but because we need to get the message out there to more people. And it's really important. If people don't subscribe and share, this is how social media works. I don't love social media, but this is the day and age, and this is how it works. And so without letting other people know about it, it just stays small. And so we want more people to live better. We want everybody to embrace new ideas. So just share everything. And yeah, so I'll see you guys all on the next episode of the Giving Starts With You podcast. Joy, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to speak with you and share this human vibe that we have. And I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please subscribe or leave a review. See you next week on the Giving Starts With You podcast.